What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Detroit, it's your girl, Zsa Zsa, and it is Thankful Thursdays, as I say each and every week. Yes, you are listening to Yeah, I Said It, and y'all already know. Before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it, and I know you heard me the first time. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and listen, we are talking all about what you gonna do about it. We talking all about what you gonna do about it. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. What are you gonna do about it? And one of the things that I love about our culture. What up, though, Ryan? What's happening? I see y'all out there in the building. Make sure that you follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Listen, guys, I'm sorry that I'm late. But I am super grateful because God always answers prayers. I'm coming from my television production for my new TV show, Uncommon Conversations. And if anybody knows anything about production, about performance, about being a creator or a visionary, you know that it's time consuming and you want to make sure that it's right because you can't do stuff fly by night, okay? Because when you plan stuff right, you can execute it right. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. We're talking all about what are you going to do about it? See, one of the things that I love about, life is the fact that, life has a way of changing in every course of its direction other than sometimes what we want, right? And like many of you, you enjoyed your Wednesday morning as you drank your coffee or you rolled out of bed and you stretched and you yawned and you thought about what you were going to do for the day. You never thought or intended that you would see hundreds of thousands of people infiltrating the Capitol building because of their disgrace and their dislike on an outcome that potentially has the ability to change the trajectory of all of our lives. Now, one of the things that I saw yesterday, and I have to be very conscious of how I use my platform and the things that I say, because y'all already know. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. And if you're tuning in, we're talking about what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? When I was listening and watching other people's statuses, and they were showing and commenting their disgust. And although I was mad as hell, HE double hockey sticks, and yeah, y'all ain't got a heaven or hell to put me in. So yeah, I said it, and there we go. Yeah, I was frustrated, and yeah, I didn't like it. And of course, we saw what we all have been seeing for the last 400 plus years. What I didn't understand is why people were confused or shocked about something that they have already shown us time and time again. See, what I didn't understand is how we can be frustrated and angry because we aren't getting the same results that they would have gotten if it was us. See, yeah, we know if it would have been black folks running around there, swinging around an African flag, if it would have been us out there with our hoodies on and our Timberlands on, we already know the outcome of what would have been. So to make the status of something that we already know about is kind of obsolete. You know what I didn't see? What are we going to do, y'all? How can we be better? What's the play? Who's the strategy? Because I'm going to tell you something that I saw yesterday. I saw unity. I saw inclusion. I saw implementing a plan and a strategy. No, it may not have been the plan and the strategy that we deemed to be the right one, but what it showed is that when you unite together to make a difference or a change of something that you don't like and that you don't want to happen, when you get people together that think like you can make effective change. See, some of you are so caught up with kicking it and hanging out with people to talk about somebody else, to dog somebody else out, to talk about what somebody else is doing, how they're trying to do this and how they're trying to do that. See, we get around and we sit around and talk about stuff that don't matter. We want to look fly for each other and people that barely like us. We don't step up to the plate when we're supposed to. And I'm not here to beat us down, because this is not a beat down moment. But what this is a moment of is what that girl say, this is a revolution. And if it's a revolution, then somebody needs to be revolutionized. What that means is we watching what's happening, we talking about what's happening, but we ain't doing nothing about it. See, it's a difference between, and I told y'all in the beginning that I wasn't going to march, because I marched when I was 14, when they took affirmative action away from the schools up north and the University of Michigan. I was one of those kids out there when they had the police out there when we went up to Ann Arbor, and I was accompanied by one of my mentors, Tanya Champion, when we were trying to keep affirmative action so that we can make sure that our kids had the ability to get into some of these schools. But y'all didn't think it was important then. See, this is the thing. We can't look and be outraged and be disgusted about things that we have the ability to change. Now, I told y'all in the beginning of the year, on the beginning of election, when I became a candidate. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Zsa Zsa, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, you know Zsa Zsa, because you do. One of the things that I saw as a candidate was the fact that people look just like me giving me a hard time. What I saw on the campaign trail, and this was not my first time running for office. For those of you who are tuning in and those of you who are just watching Zsa Zsa and getting to know her, Zsa Zsa ran for office when she was 21 years old, when she first came back from college. Okay? So politics ain't nothing new to me. I started working in politics when I was 13, 14 years old, working for other politicians who had been elected into office. And these, how was I, 13? So I'm 30 something years old now. So with the blah, 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 blah something years that I have an experience with working with elected officials that have been in office, some were good, some were bad, some were indifferent. Some I looked at them like, what the HE double hockey sticks? Some I wish were still in office because we didn't give them a good chance. But one of the things that we are going to have to learn, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it, right? One of the things that we're going to have to learn to do is stop talking about the problem and start figuring out strategies and solutions and putting people in place that we can hold accountable. Because let me tell you this, a lot of our frustrations, a lot of where we are today as a people is because Black people put us in that position. I know I'm going to lose some friends and people probably going to unfollow me, but guess what? I don't care, because you ain't got a heaven and hell to put me in. And I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. We put white folks in that position to feel superior, okay? Because when we had the opportunity to link up together in the late 70s, 80s, and 90s, when we were evolving as industry leaders, as we were taking our place in politics, and we were sitting on judges' seats, and we were taking our degrees and our companies, that they were giving us a little bit of space, because it was only room for one Black Negro. So because it was only room for one Puerto Rican, one one Mexican, one Black person, everybody was fighting for a position. And see, we allowed opportunity to outweigh how loyal we're supposed to be to our people. But because we want that dog eat dog world and we want to be the ones to get it first, we didn't care that we was hurting our brother or our sister. So when you talk about you outraged and you talk about being mad as hell, be mad as hell as the stuff that's going on right under your nose. See, it's a difference between being mad as hell about something that you ain't got no control over, but you got to learn to be mad as hell about the stuff you do got control over. We have politicians and leaders right here, not only in the city of Detroit, but in the state of Michigan, that look like you and me. And it's not up to us to decide when this person is deemed to be, or this and that. Our job and our due diligence is to vote people in the office that represents us and is going to give us the best outcome for our future. And when you don't see that happening, we need to make sure that we take those people out of office. It's not enough for us to talk about how people have stolen money from our kids. DPSCD real estate people have sold off schools, closed down McKenzie, closed down Northeastern, closed down all of these schools. Cooley to sell off the real estate land. But y'all ain't mad as hell. Y'all not really mad. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to, yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. See, one of the things that I know about Zsa Zsa Chantel Hubbard is that I'm going to say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. I'm not going to be one of those people that talk about it in the office, talk about it in the kitchen, talk about it amongst my friends. No, I address the problem. I talk about it when it needs to be talked about. Because one of the things that happens in the Black community and the culture, we talk about everything else in their mama except the stuff that we need to be talking about. See, a lot of relationships have been hindered because we put focus on the wrong thing. We sitting up here going through a whole race war, and y'all are focused on some of the most pettiest things that's going on within our world, within our community. Right now, we need to be doing what they doing. I know you probably don't want to hear that, and I don't really care. Because we got too many people in leadership roles, but they ain't real leaders. Yeah, they got the title. They council member this. They judge that. They such and such this. And unfortunately, we have gotten to a place where we love to be entertained. But we have continuously put people in office that help these white folks hurt us. We had people in place that gave our land away. When we saw that they didn't mean us no good, we talked about it. We said how mad we were. But because we don't want to step on nobody's toes. We don't want to be beefed out with the popular people. We don't want to be beefed out with the person who got a following instead of speaking our truths. See, history only repeats itself until we have come to a place and decided that we no longer want these type of things to happen. You don't believe me? Racial marriage, racial inequality. It wasn't until they were fed up and went to Supreme Courts and other courts and pushed the envelope to have interracial marriage. It wasn't until homosexuals, heterosexuals, lesbians, transgender, it wasn't until they came together, LGBTQ came together, and they insisted and they forced and they didn't take their necks off of the people. We haven't had a 1,000,000-man march. I don't think it was a 1,000,000-woman march. We ain't did none of these things in so long because we don't know how to effectively listen to the person in charge or the person that's leading, because we got so many chiefs and not enough Indians. Everybody want to be in charge, so we can't effectively do what it is that we need to do to get where we're going. And you say, well, Zsa Zsa, why do you feel like we need to be doing what they're doing? You know why? Because proper planning prevents poor performance. They orchestrated this thing underground. And one of the most successful time frames in our lives is when the African American culture and population created what you call the Underground Railroad, where people were looking for railroads and tracks and trains, but it was a whole undercoding lifestyle. In order for them to have executed what they were able to execute, there was a communication that took place that was underground. These people were our nurses, our doctors, our pharmacy techs. These people that marched on the Capitol, these are people who have regular industry professional jobs. Okay? And see, what you don't realize is while you trying to beef with your neighbor or your brother and sister, there are people that they ain't thinking about none of that. They ain't think about none of that. They trying to get to the bag. They trying to get to the bag. They trying to get some head, some bread, and leave. Okay? In that order. They ain't thinking about who said what, who did what. See, some of us focus on some of the most minute things that have nothing to do with our growth. We want to get new Timberlands. We want to get new Cardis. We want to get the freshest and sweetest outfit. We want to look the part, talk the part, be the part, but are we doing our part? See, yeah, y'all voted and we got number 45 out of office, but that ain't enough. And see, one of the reasons I know it's not enough, because if these people are as outraged as they are from a Senate race, They know the impact and the power that comes behind this race. They know that this has the propensity to change the trajectory of all races. It creates this thing that we don't have in America, and that's inclusion. See, people from other countries and other cultures come to America because we have presented to them what we call the American dream, where you have the opportunity to take your wildest imagination and turn it into something prosperous, where everybody knows your name and everybody loves what you're doing, and you can have more than what you ever could dream. That's what we sold people on America. But unfortunately, when they get here, it could be quite the polar opposite. For many of you, we have had to scrape and climb to the top for us to get to where we are. When my mom died, we had enough life insurance to bury her, get her everything she needed, but we didn't have nothing left to take us to the next level. And see, white folks, they know the power of finances. See, we do too, but we don't realize it until it's too late. See, we take them $200, $350 Jordans that you got lined up on the floor in your room. That's about 5,000, 10 stacks that could have been used to build an asset. And yeah, reselling gym shoes, it can be lucrative. But how lucrative is it to have an apartment building and you can provide 5 families with a roof over their head and turn around and get income, passive income from 5 units? But see, because they put and dangled something nice in front of us, they put something fun and they made it sparkle and they made us dance and they put entertainment in front of us. We became, ooh, I want to be like Mike. Ooh, yeah, I want to go get this. Ooh, yeah, I want to go get that. So then we became the number one consumer and not the number one provider. We are out here consuming so much, but we're not giving enough. And the craziest thing is that how is it that the white folks know all about our history? They know what we're capable of. They know where we come from. But yet, if I talk to a young man or a young lady, they don't even know the history. They don't know where they come from. They don't know where they're going. All they know is right now. So because all they know is right now, guess all the decisions they're going to be making. All the decision making they're going to be making is right now. Right now decisions. And see, when you are focused on future, you don't have time for the fugazi and the foolishness. When you have matured in life and growth, you recognize BS for what it is and you see it before it even starts. You see a situation when people walk through the door. You know what, y'all, I'm about to go. All right, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later. See, the thing about it is that we have got to learn, in order for us to have a close or a significant close a significant gap in not only racism, not only in inequality, not only in economic disparities and poverty within our communities, we are going to have to learn to think and strategize and link up. I'm a wedding official. Do you think any wedding planners have ever come up to me and said, hey, listen, I marry couples for a living. You do weddings designed for a living. When I get my wedding clients, I'm going to send them to you so that you can do their designs. No, because we ain't thinking like that. We thinking, oh, I got to have all of this to me. This all mine. This mine. Matter of fact, give me yours too. Because you don't deserve to have yours either. See, we too busy trying to build mine. And don't get me wrong. You do want to build yours. Because in order for you to build anything that's worth building, you're going to have a hand in the game. See, at the end of the day, we want to sometimes get nothing. We want something for nothing. And I tell y'all all the time, each and every week, in order for you to get the maximum results that you're looking for, you can't give it a minimum effort. You want maximum results, you're going to have to give maximum effort. Right now, my only concern right now is getting these shows and this content together, getting my son graduated from college, Cass Tech, and off to college, and getting my finances in order so that way I can be impactful, so that I can make the difference, so that my words match my actions and my actions match my money. See, some of y'all are living lives that don't match. It don't match. It's like a person rocking Fila and then got on Adidas. Don't match. You punk faking. And see, sometimes we will put ourselves in a situation where we punk fake so hard, we got to keep that game face. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, you know Zsa Zsa. Listen, follow me on Facebook. Y'all already know Zsa Zsa, so stop playing and acting like you don't. You feel me? This is one of the reasons why we can't move forward and these type of things happen in the Capitol. Because you so worried about is Zsa Zsa doing it and not looking at the anointing that God has on my life. And it's something about her. She's doing something for a reason. I don't know why. I ain't really feeling her, but she do be talking that real talk. So at the end of the day, are we trying to help each other and our people for real? Or is it just good to say? Does it sound good when we get together and we create plans and we don't follow through? People reach out to me all the time. Let's collab. Let's put something together. You doing this, I'm doing this, let's do this. And then I'm waiting because I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to show up and I'm going to give my 110. See, the issue is not as if I'm going to show up. The issue becomes, are you? So if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Not your sister, not your brother, not your kids, not your friends, not your family, not your spouse, your boo. You. What you going to do? See, because the difference between us and them, they know what to do. And they doing it. And they've been doing it for 400 years. Let's get an ethnicity that we can manipulate. Let's continue to manipulate them. Let's snatch their history from them. Let's make them each other's enemies. Let's put drugs in their communities. Oh, matter of fact, let's drop these guns in there. And let's create some music artists that talk about fucking bitches, beating hoes, drugs, and all of the shit that we listen to on a day-to-day basis, and we turn around and we act it out. Now, to all the saints that ain't used to hearing me utilize those words, you'll be okay, because some of y'all saints use them too. We're going to stop punk faking with that too, because y'all out here talking about God this, Jesus that, hallelujah this, and y'all is the main ones that keep a lot of confusion and BS going. That's why it's hard to fill up churches, and they're like revolving doors. People come in and out. You got one family that was here, then they leave, another family. We can't build stuff because we are not stable in how we treat each other. This is where we got to learn to move forward and gang up. Oh, we'll get together. Let your cousin say somebody did something to her son. Let your homegirl say her man cheating. Oh, we ready. Let's go. I'm that friend too, by the way. I'm always ready. I'm always ready, willing. Let's go. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, we gonna get it popping. Let's go. Oh, we ready. We always ready. Oh, it's a party? Oh, I'm there. Who all gonna be there? What's the occasion? What we gotta wear? Oh, I'm there. Oh, it's funeral. Such and such died. Yeah. We there. We at the funeral. We at the repast. Oh, such and such getting married. What? Oh, I gotta see this because last time I heard she wasn't even gonna have no man. And this her fourth husband. But we go, get dressed up. Oh, they're having a meeting about a water crisis. They have high levels of lead and bacteria in the water, and they are telling our kids not to drink the water, not to use the toilet, not to cook the food. Did you think hundreds of thousands of outraged parents who have children in DPS came out? No. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. You ain't got a heaven and hell to put me in. When they had high levels of lead and bacteria in the water, we should have been outraged then. When they killed families and infected them in the water crisis in Flint, they got international news. We should have been mad as hell then. When we allowed a white mayor to come into an African-American city and sell up all of our stuff, we should have been mad then. When we had a city council members who were agreeing on contracts and RFPs to help other ethnicities put money in their pocket, but yet y'all put Kwame in jail because he hooked his homeboy Bobby up. See, we hung Kwame We put him on the chopping block. I don't know what happened to Strawberry. I wasn't at the party. I know about the party, and I know about the people that were there. I'm telling you, I've been in this thing for a lot longer than a lot of people know, and I know a lot more about a lot of people than a lot of people know that I know. Case in point, at the end of the day, we will hang one another, or we will put one another on the chopping block for the most silliest thing. See, the enemy knows that we are more forceful together. It's a thing about the power in numbers. The Bible says if any two or three, not one, if any one agree. No, it said any two or three gather in his name, there he will be in the midst. So what that means is that there is power in numbers. Clearly, this would have not made headline news if it was 10 people out there. They would have maybe given it a few seconds, but it wouldn't have made national news. National news only happens when you are making an impact and a true statement. At the end of the day, like I said before in the beginning, if you're tuning in, what are you going to do about it? Because it's easy for us to point the finger and say, oh, that's a shame. Oh, if it was black people, what we would be and what we would do. We block each other every single day. We can't even plan a dinner together, let alone a whole march and storm the Capitol. This has been planned. And one of the things that happens when it comes to plans is that they follow through on the plans. I said earlier, people always say they want to connect. Let's collab. Let's do this. Let's do that. But then when it comes to following up with the play, they ain't following up on the play. This is how we keep missing the mark. See, we put more emphasis on what we look like. Most wealthy white people, you wouldn't know they're wealthy because they're not wearing Gucci. They're not wearing their money. This is how they're able to stay ahead of the game financially. Because we will go take and invest $250 in a pair of gym shoes or whatever outfit that we want to wear, only for us to be cheap when it comes to our health. Only for us to be cheap when it comes to things we really actually need for our lives. See, racist individuals who aren't just white, because it's racist black people, it's racist Asians, it's all different type of ethnicities have racism. And then there are all types of ethnicities that have stereotypes within those races. At the end of the day, we have to learn to gang up together and not gang up on each other. We're quick to gang up on each other before we gang up for what's right. See, I don't care if you my cousin. I don't care if you a friend, a foe, an enemy. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. And see, some of you have entertained people that are wrong so they feel like they can get away with stuff. We don't hold people accountable for their behaviors like we should. That's why you mad? Because Elizabeth got sprayed with mace? You mad? Are you really mad? We'll gang up then. You mad? Do something about it. You mad? Let's make some noise about it. And not just noise where it's just entertaining for the ears, but real noise that makes and creates impact. Because again, the LGBT community, they made noise. And what happened? Same-sex marriage got passed. It's called pressure. Okay? You apply enough pressure to a person or a thing, they'll either fold and cave in, or they gonna stand up and say no. See, one of the things that I've learned is that when a person is intentional about linking up, they gonna be intentional about linking up with you. See, when a man wants a woman and a woman wants a man, they are intentional about seeking each other out. He calls her, hey, babe, what you doing? You looking good today? Just thinking about you. Wanted to make sure you was good. She gonna say, oh, babe, thank you. I was thinking about you too. I'm good. I'm just doing 2, 2, 2, woo, woo. When you're intentional. See, in this season that we're walking into, you are going to have to be intentional about the relationships that you build, the friends that you call friends, the relationships that you have, the decisions that you make. You are going to have to be intentional about linking. You're not only going to have to be intentional, but you're going to have to follow the plan. And I mean, you're going to have to follow the plan. And if anybody diverts from that plan, they got to go exit stage left. See, a lot of us mess ourselves up because we got a good heart. These last few weeks I've been in production. And when I tell you, I started working on this television show in 2018. I'm a graduate from Specs Howard. I went to school for TV and radio in 2008, and I graduated with dual concentration with both. Now, I started this idea of a talk show in 2018. It's 2021, and it's now being manifested. Sometimes things take time, but they only take time when we're doing them by ourselves. See, some things take a lot longer because it's just us carrying the weight. But just imagine how further we can catapult each other and how faster we can catapult each other if we're intentional about working together. Not working with the people who popping, not working with the people who gonna give you the most clout, not working with the people so you can get your agenda off the ground, but being intentional about what it is that you're doing. One of my favorite movies is Princess and the Frog. And there's a part where Tiana's dad comes home and Tiana is making gumbo. And Tiana said, "Daddy, I made gumbo." And he said, "Tiana, baby, let me see taste this gumbo," right? So she tastes the gumbo and he said, "Baby, I think it's missing something." And she said, "Daddy, I know, don't tell me." So she asked the extra spice, right? And she said, "It's good." And Daddy says, "This is too good not to share." And so he opens up his back porch and he say, "Hey, y'all, Tiana made gumbo." They could have kept that pot of gumbo to themselves. That pot of gumbo could have been put in some Ziploc bags and put in the freezer for their family to keep for the rest of the week. But, and although this is a Disney cartoon, it has a message behind it. When you are intentionally doing things, I could charge people to be on my podcast. I could charge people to be on my TV show. A lot of people are doing it. I could easily join that bandwagon. But what good would that do me if I have a bigger picture in mind? See, I'm not trying to get a couple dollars, okay? Because this is where the differentiation between us and them lies. See, we focus on getting that paper right now, getting to the money right now. They're focused on 50 years from now. I said this last week. We are so focused on 6 months out, and unfortunately, because of the racism, the economic disparities, where we are right now, we have the propensity right now, if we really want to make some changes happen, to make it happen right now, you are going to have to move intentional. All that jealous and envy, all that strife and bitterness. I found myself arguing with a broad earlier this week. All I want is my money. Give me my money and all that other stuff. Because what that lets me know is your mindset is small. You are focused on the little things. And I had to literally pray and calm myself down because I started thinking crazy thoughts. And y'all know when people piss y'all off, they will take you there. And you be ready to do something. And so I had to get myself together. And I literally had to pray. I said, "God, I don't want these feelings about this person or these individuals. I don't want to feel like this about them." And believe you me, I've been in a lot of situations where I could have treated people the way that they treated me. And I know y'all know some people who didn't treat y'all right. They mishandled your heart. They mishandled your money. They mishandled your mind. They mishandled your sex. They mishandled your love. They mishandled you. So because they mishandled you, you could easily give out what you have been given. And see, that's the beauty in people who have good hearts. See, I had a production in these last few weeks, and I hired somebody because I thought that they were going to produce what I needed them to produce, and they didn't. And so because they failed to produce what I needed them to produce, I ended up having to do something more than once when I could have had it taken care of the first time. But see, when people are not honest with themselves and where they are in life, they cannot be honest with you. If you are not honest with where you are in your mindset, your finances, your soul, your spirit, where you are with parenting, where you are when it comes to what's happening with you in your world. That's why I can maneuver through life the way that I do. And people is always asking me, like, you are just always so this and you are always so that, because I had to change and unlearn some things that had me boggled down and bagged down. So in this next season in our lives, we are going to have to be intentional about linking up. We're going to have to be intentional about ganging up and helping each other instead of ganging up and hurting each other. Because we quick to get together and dog each other out, but we're not quick enough to get together and say, oh, this person is getting ready to launch a TV show. We got to make sure that Friday night, even if I can't watch it, I'm going to set my DVR. Even if I don't watch it, I'm going to share her post. That is intentional. See, when it comes to somebody will say, hey, Zsa, can you put this in your Insta story? Yeah, I sure can. If I was charging, I would be charging. Yep. But at the end of the day, it's intentionality. Are you intentional about what it is that you say that you're going to do? Now, I also want to say this. There's power in numbers. And I know that there are power in numbers because my mom has 7 children. I'm the oldest. My dad had 2 additional daughters on my dad's side. I have 2 sisters. So I'm the oldest of 9. Okay. Got 5 sisters, 3 brothers. Well, I'm the oldest. Yeah, I'm the oldest of 9. 5 sisters, 3 brothers. One of my brothers was killed in prison. Now dig this. Growing up off Joy Road in Detroit, west side of Detroit, being a daughter of an East Sider, my daddy was straight up East Side. My mama was a beauty queen from the West. East meets West, and they create me and my siblings. Now, I know that there is power in numbers because people only want to rock with people who have major followers. People only want to rock with people who have or do or can provide major impact. See, nobody wants to be around nobody that doesn't produce, right? And if you're around people who don't produce, well, guess what? That just makes you another person who don't produce either. See, it's more than a birds of a feather flock together type of thing. It's about what you represent and what the people that you're connected to represent. I don't want nobody connected to me that doesn't know the difference between supporting integrity and supporting foolishness. I don't want nobody connected to me who thinks that helping out their community or where they come from is a waste of time. That's why I'm very mindful of who I date and the next man that I marry. Because the next man that I marry, I got to be able to do kingdom work with you. I got to be able to do purpose work with you. I don't need you talking about why you in the projects helping people. No, I want my man to be in the projects right with me, talking to the kings of the streets and the young men of the streets and imparting wisdom into them, because that's what my ideal and purpose of success is. Now, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I know what I'm trying to do. I know the power in numbers because growing up and having, being the oldest of 9 siblings and having 5 sisters and 3 brothers, whenever there was an issue, whenever there was a problem growing up on Joy Road, whether I was walking home from McFarland, traveling off Chicago and Wyoming from Drew, or just kicking it on the block from McKenzie, whenever there was an issue with one of my siblings, they also knew, be careful, because it's 7 of them. Whenever we would go places with my mom, they would never address us individually. They would always say, there goes Kelly's kids. Case in point, the Kelly's Kids Foundation. There are power in numbers. People won't mess with you when they know you got power behind you. Power to the left and the right of you. See, there are gaps that have hindered our culture because we aren't creating a seam. See, we have to have a seamless baton. I ran track, indoor, outdoor track, cross country track. And I was a part of the 4x4 team, and I would oftentimes be the replacement when somebody wasn't on the team. And sometimes we had enough girls to do 2 teams of 4x4 or 4x8. Growing up as the oldest, when any of my brothers and sisters would get into anything, even me, they knew we had other brothers and sisters. What my mama and daddy taught us, if one fight, we all fight. So we knew that if something were to pop off, that it ain't a mystery if my brothers and sisters gonna help me. It's a matter of when they gonna help me. See, some of you all are watching people build things and you watching from the sideline with envy in your eyes. But because you ain't thinking, dang, if I help her pick up the shovel, maybe we can make a bigger impact. But because you're so focused on it's that person. See, when my brother was being robbed at the corner store on Glenn's liquor store on Chicago and Wyoming, my little brother was in middle school. I was in high school. I didn't hesitate to jump out that red Windstar van and jump into a middle school fight. Not because I want to beat some kids up, but because y'all jumping my little brother for one pair of Air Force Ones. Who gonna wear them? Y'all gonna take turns? So what that tells me is we gotta be intentional. And these other ethnicities have caused us not only to hate ourselves, but to hate each other. See, Kanye ain't as crazy as he portrayed and as we have made him to seem. He knows something that we don't know. That's just like me working in politics. I know a lot of things that the average citizen would not know. That's why people call me for information and resources when it comes to things that are happening within our community. And we have to be intentional about linking up. See, when I ran track, it was this thing where we use a baton. And a baton, I'll use this straw for a demonstration. So the baton is about this long, but it's a little bigger, right? Has a little bit more density, a little bit more substance. And the first person takes off running. The first person comes out the gate and they are the pace setter. The person comes out the gate with the baton. They set the tone of the race, okay? They set the tone of the race. We have people that have come out in history who have set the tone for the race. I'm talking about the Gandhis of the world. I'm talking about the Nelson Mandelas of the world, the Harriet Tubmans of the world. They came out the gate and they set the tone. Then you have the person that comes as the second leg. Now, the second leg, they see their person. They see their moves. They've either seen how good they ran or they see where they need to pick it up. I had a few coaches, Coach Derek McGee, Coach Thomas, Coach Ferg. They were our track coaches. And they would say, you're going to have to run the straightaway and you're going to glide the curve. You hit the straightaway and you glide the curve. Now, this second leg is important because the second leg can determine whether or not you and your team actually win. See, at the end of the day, everybody that plays a toll in your life has an important role. And if you're not careful, people will make you feel like your role ain't important and it ain't significant. Everybody that's helping me right now, whether they doing it for free, I'm paying them, whether or not they volunteering or they just looking out for your girl. Every last person plays an important role in the trajectory of my life and my success. I can't treat people like they don't matter when they helping me. See, when you have a team, you make sure that everybody on your team eat, not just you. You ain't the only person in the magazine or in the video or doing this. And this is why a lot of businesses, they end before they have ability to start. Because sometimes people aren't looking at themselves as being a part of the team. The second leg is important because they determine whether or not how the next two people interact in the race. And see, the next people are important because that is going to bring us either a win or it's going to put us in a placement. See, second leg is important. That's the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the W.E.B. Du Bois's. These are the Ruby Dees of the world. These are the Aretha Franklins, that second leg. See, yeah, we had the Harriet Tubmans and the Nat King Coles and the Frederick Douglass. That was the first. Those were the runners out straight out the gate. Then that second leg, that's the Arethas of the world, the RESPT. They change the outcome of how things were going. Just imagine if there was no Motown music. We play a significant part in the intentionality of how our future is going to go for our future, for our people. So then here comes the third leg. And depending on what the first leg do and the second leg is all in the third. See, when the first person and the second person do their job, the third person and the fourth person won't have to work hard. Come on, somebody. If you've ever been on a team, when the people doing what they supposed to do, listen, when defense does what it's supposed to do and defend, you don't have to worry about offense coming and taking the ball and scoring a field. See, when you playing offense, your whole goal is to make sure that they don't score. See, you have to be intentional about what it is that you want for the things that you're included in. I didn't join the track team to win initially. I joined it because it was cute. My boyfriend, he was on the track team. You know what I'm saying? All my friends was on the track team. I was already cheering and doing pom-pom and city council and student council and everything else. I didn't need another organization. It wasn't until I got a taste of winning, okay? It wasn't until I got a taste of winning is when I understood what it meant to be a part of a team. A team is not just about together everyone achieves more. A team is about us moving together so that we can make impact. See, when I was on that track team in high school at McKenzie, when the first leg jumped out the gate and ran around that track and they set the tone, the second leg, and you pass that baton. See, the race doesn't count if you don't pass the baton. If the person that came out the first gate does not pass this baton to the second person, the person race doesn't count. There have been times where the baton has been dropped and the person can't do nothing about it other than pick it up and get back in the race. See, when you pass the baton the right way and there's a smooth transition, there aren't enough gaps and there aren't enough issues in place to stop us. See, we keep starting off strong as a people, and then we just dwindle on down because we get comfortable. We got to keep sticking it to them. White people sticked it to us for 400 years. We need to get to the point where we stop ganging up on each other and gang up together and being intentional about passing the baton. When I talk to other young people, I'm not telling them, oh, you thinking too far out into the future. I'm not telling them, oh, don't think about that. Don't do that. No, because I see what could potentially be if they put in the work now. That's why there are young men that I know they are power hungry. They greedy. They thinking all about money. You know what's going to happen? Guess what? There'll be another 45 if we don't fix it now. Oh. So you got an issue with how they treated them and how they treated us? Well, we got to groom the next group of people. Because guess what? I'm the third leg. My millennials, my Generation Xers, my Generation Zs and all of that. No, Generation X, Y, the millennials. That's all us. We're the third leg. We won't have to work as hard if the first leg transferred the baton to the second leg, which was supposed to pass it to us. But no, they didn't pass it to us. They dropped the baton and we came and we picked it up. So now here it is, 2021. And we mad because these individuals had a plan. They worked the plan. They executed the plan and they did it together. See, we can't get mad when we see other teams winning because we have not decided to be intentional. I love Cash Dow's relationship with Jasmine Renee and her best friend Kendra. And I hear and I see so many women and men and they talk all about how they want to have friends and best friends like that. Well, one of the things that I love about their relationship is they're intentional about being friends, not just in their friend's face, but when they are not around. And it didn't have anything to do with money. Didn't have nothing to do with clout. Didn't have nothing to do with none of that. Because they were all friends before they had any of it. See, the difference is they are committed and dedicated to staying down to what it is they say they're down to. Some of y'all ain't loyal to yourself. You can't be loyal to a cause. How you gonna be loyal to changing the future when you ain't loyal to changing how you govern your own house? See, I don't respect people who say they from the block, they from the hood, they from this community, they love the D, but I ain't never seen you sweep. I ain't never seen you rape. I ain't never seen you pick up the trash from around your house, your community. You walk right out the door, throw trash out the window. How you love where you live? How? I see people say they love the community, but they don't treat it like they love it. Oh, y'all loved Belle Isle until they took it from us. Yeah, y'all loved Rouge until they put a time cap on it. See, if we was taking care of what we was taking care of when we had it and when we were given, then we would still have access to it. See, we have to get to the point where it's like how it was when I was a kid. They won't mess with us because we're working together. See, the third leg, which is us, we have to work harder because the baton wasn't passed. The baton was dropped. And so people have to pick up the baton and carry on with the race. Now, it is up to us in this season of our lives to pass this baton to the next person in line. See, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. If you're listening, you're listening to I Said It, and we're talking all about what are you going to do about it. See, the last part of that race in that track meet is that fourth leg, the last leg. And the last leg can either enjoy the race because we are already ahead of the game, or they're going to have to work really, really hard to even be a contender. See, my son, your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, that's the last leg. That's the group that's coming behind us. The 19-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, the 23-year-olds, the 25-year-olds, the 17s, the 15s, the 12s, the 5-year-olds. This is the group that's coming next. It is important for the people who are in position now to pass the baton, not drop it. We can't keep talking about the problems that they have given us when we have helped them give us these problems. We are going to have to hold people accountable. And if they don't do what they say they're going to do, we are going to have to get them out of office, get them out of position. White people, people that are disgusted in other issues and in other race groups, other ethnicities, when they don't like something, they make noise about it. Not only do they make noise about it, but they are consistent until something's done. We can't think a little bit of marching and a couple Black Lives Matters are going to be enough. We got to put the right people in place in office so that we can make the right decisions on behalf of people. We're going to have to make sure that we are intentional about being inclusive and not divisive, causing more division than we are inclusion. We're going to have to learn to stick together and listen to somebody. Somebody has enough leadership out of those different groups and organizations that we can say, okay, this is the person that we're going to listen to, and how can we orchestrate and follow up on this plan? Last thing, you are going to have to follow through with the plan. Stop creating plans if you're not going to follow through on them. The last thing that people want is to get so excited about a thing and the thing doesn't happen. See, I was watching this movie the other day. It's called Just Mercy. And if you have time, watch it. It's with Michael B. Jordan. And it was about the story of Raphael Warnock in Georgia. How ironic that what's happening in Georgia has been happening forever. I watched this movie, Just Mercy, with Michael B. Jordan, about the story of an innocent Black man who was accused of killing a white woman in Georgia. Now, this woman was not killed by this man. He was given the death penalty, something that is still prevalent down south, okay? They execute you by lethal injection, not the electric chair anymore. Yay. But there are so many things that have been put in place in these down south states that are still in place. Just like there have been things that are implemented here up north, out west, out east, that have been implemented to continue to hinder us. In this movie, I mean, it wasn't about Raphael Warnock. My apologies. Raphael Warnock is the young man who won the Senate race in Georgia. But the movie Just Mercy, with Michael B. Jordan, talked about a young man, Johnny D. Johnny D was his name. My apologies, not Raphael Warnock. Raphael Warnock is the young man who is the pastor at Ebenezer Church in Georgia, who just won the Senate seat that caused all of this uproar at the Capitol building. In this movie, Johnny D was accused of murder, of killing a white woman. No witnesses, no evidence. A young lawyer, Michael B. Jordan, decided that he was going to take the time, the energy, no matter how many times he was attacked, accused, scared, nervous, lack of. He knew that there was a goal to reach, and the goal to reach was his freedom for Johnny D, as well as other young men who had been given an unfair shot in the legal system. If we are going to live a life that we all can be proud of, that we can be okay with for the future, we are going to have to do something about it now. So my question to you that I asked earlier today, what are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm getting ready to take over this media game, because the media has a way of depicting the way that they want the world to operate and what they want us to see. Well, guess what? It's a new sheriff in town. And at the end of the day, if we really want to make sure that our people and all people have inclusion, we are going to have to learn to work together, be honest about what we can and cannot do, because we don't have time to waste and we don't have money to waste. We have to be intentional about who we link up with and be intentional about the goals that we're trying to reach. Not your own personal agenda, not what you're trying to get accomplished, but the initial goal. Because in order for us to be impactful and have the impact the way that they did at the Capitol, the way that we are going to have impactful and be impactful like they did for the Million Man March, we're going to have to learn to listen to somebody, and we're going to have to learn to do our part. You're going to have to learn to be intentional or move out the way. And when a person is put in place that does not do what they say they're going to do, you have to be okay with removing those people. See, in this season of my life, yeah, I got a good heart and I love everybody, but I ain't got time to be playing with my future. And I don't have time to be playing no games with nobody about what I'm building. If you say you know how to do something, you better know how to do it or move out my way. See, this is where we have to get into the position of calling a spade a spade. If it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, guess what? It's a duck. Stop acting like, oh, I got a good heart. Let me look at the best of the people. No, because at the end of the day, it's the people with the good hearts that got shot and killed. Breonna Taylor had a good heart, but it didn't stop them from walking in her apartment while she was sleeping, killing her. George Floyd had a good heart, but it didn't stop nobody from putting their knee to his neck and him yelling, I can't breathe. So my question to you is, what are you going to do? Because everybody and their mama talked about on social media about how mad as hell you are. But really, how mad as hell are you when you can backbite your own brother and sister? The minute that you get mad at somebody, you want to dog them out. See, we got to get to the point where we stop focusing on the dumb stuff. So again, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa, because guess what you do? And if you really mad as hell, do something. Do something. Because guess what? I'm going to do something. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Peace.